So, how is everyone? I hope you're all well. So, as time progresses and we are getting further and further away from the day that this happened, we're now really focusing on what is going on. You know, how far along in the investigation are law enforcement getting? Are they getting closer to a conclusion? Is there more clues coming out as more people have an interest in it? You know, I know that some people are dead set against the likes of social media and the so-called armchair detectives getting involved. But look, this ain't Truckee. This isn't a situation where we're hearing people say that they specifically don't want anybody involved and they've got this hatred towards social media. And there's a lot of people who are now on the hunt themselves to look at the people who were connected to the people involved in this situation, most specifically, obviously, the victims themselves. And, you know, you can go onto social media and find out many, many things. You know, we're seeing connections to OnlyFans pages and things like that. And we know, you know, I've got nothing against OnlyFans pages, but we know the kind of crowd that can sort of bring attention from. And maybe, just maybe, that's how this group of girls managed to spike some maniac's attention. Now, I'm not saying that any of these specific girls have got an OnlyFans, but there are certainly girls around this group who, if you do a little bit of digging, you can find out that they have. And look, again, I state, I'm not saying that everybody who looks at these sort of pages have a criminal intent, but it's enough to spark someone's curiosity if they have inclinations of a nefarious nature. That may have indeed been the catalyst to bring attention if these girls are involved in things like that. We know that they all went out separately. We don't yet know who was the initial target or whether this was the house that was targeted or whether it was one specific person. We're no real further forward. We've seen the profilers state that they believe that this was a male with no real skill involved from what I was saying in the video yesterday. I do beg to differ. I think that there was an element of skill involved, but I think the most credible thing that they've said and something that they're going back to is the fact that they're going to concentrate on the stalker element. I'm going to bring this up because they've gone back to the house now. Now, what they're saying is, I believe it's the FBI, they have gone back to the house and they are looking again. They've come out of the house with some evidence bags, it would say. Look, it said investigators returned the IDAHO home Friday, where 4 college students were stabbed to death in their sleep earlier this month. Collected small bags of evidence, then met up with the Lyra County prosecutor inside police headquarters after sundown. Now, what I will say to this is what they're saying has spurned this to go back is that they're now concluding that the likelihood is that the perpetrator entered via the rear door. Well, I thought that we was already at that stage. You know, we've got the victims on different floors, and it would appear that the girls who were asleep, the surviving members, would have been the first victims, if you like, had they have gone through the front. So it would appear that the sliding door was the point of entry. But this has led them to go back to look over this scene again that hasn't now had anybody near it for a few days, and to see what they can find. And it would appear that they have come out of there with some fresh evidence. All we can do at this stage is wait and see what happens. You know, this is now just the waiting game in terms of knowledge to the public. But are we any closer? Who knows? We have no clue. All we can hope is that, you know, all of this effort that law enforcement seem to be putting in, they do seem to be putting some graft in. We can't sort of criticize them for that. They've worked through the holidays. They're clearly going backwards and forwards to this, and there are other factors involved. And they are taking this stalker element, which I believe was Kaylee, who they said was being stalked. Now let's just go back over here. There was a link to the screen. It was here, look. The stalker issue. So yeah, let me just go back. I'll drag this out of the way. Don't want my pretty face in the way, do we? Get me over here. I want to be... Right, let's go. Kaylee Goncalves was one of the 4 university students killed in a shocking pre-dawn stabbing attack this month, may have had a stalker. So yeah, Kaylee was the one who they're saying could have had a stalker. And I do feel that that holds some weight and credibility. You know, at the end of the day, someone entered this home and they must have had some knowledge of what they were going to see once they entered this home. What I suppose what ground zero was going to be like in terms of potential confrontation and the ability to carry out whatever they were going to do. I do feel that holds huge credibility. Police are asking anyone with information on the subject to contact them as their homicide investigation enters its 12th day without a suspect. Obviously, it's got some information regarding that. We don't need to go over all that again. People know what was happening and where people were. But yeah, very, very frustrating at the moment. Now, with regards to the food truck and whether the girls pay, the point being put across was the fact that I believed that the girls had paid for the food. It was actually Joe who had turned around in his interview and stated that they had not paid. And I feel that that is a very important part. You know, are people trying to put information in that was incorrect? And if so, why are they? I'm not going to say any more on that individual at this stage. And those of you who have the ability and the want to go out and get information yourself and have a look, you'll probably understand as to why. Some of the people around these girls have a very, very shady past. And it's some reading. But again, for the purpose of the integrity of this case and the potential that there could be other people looking at this, I would just implore anybody to go and have a look yourself. Have a look at some of the names that have cropped up, and yeah, go and have a look. There are a lot of things that you can find out yourself. I'm just not going to be, in this case, going to be one of them channels that spreads it all onto the platform at this stage, because I feel that there is a potential that could be of interest. I know that certain information about certain people have indeed been sent to law enforcement already, but it does make for some pretty crazy reading. But at the moment, we're still in a situation where we don't know exactly what happened. It would appear at this stage that there is a potential that a stalker was stalking one or more of these victims, have entered that property in the early hours of the morning. They've gone in through the back of that house and attacked and killed these students. They've left. They've got away, and they're currently off grid. But what has law enforcement got to do now? They've got to see if there's anybody who would normally be about who now isn't about. Is there any movements that have sort of differed from sort of pre to post? And check up on everybody who had something to do with these victims in any way, shape, or form. The Venmo payments, go back over them and have a look and see if any of them hold any importance whatsoever, any relevance, such as the reference of 3:30 a.m. on Jack's sister's payment. And I'll draw your attention what I said at the beginning and what we was talking about, and Jack's sister. There's a little bit of a clue for you. But yeah, that's all we've got at the moment. There's no new information out, apart from the fact that they are going back into the property. They have come out of there with some evidence bags, and they're particularly looking into the potential that there was a stalker involved. So with that, I shall see you all in the next one, and hopefully I'll catch you all in the live tomorrow evening. Take care. Peace.